Cyberpunk 2077 is like an onion. You gotta peel back its layers to reveal everything it has to offer, but if you cut it up too quickly, the experience will end in tears. Okay, maybe this analogy is falling apart a little bit. My point is, there are a lot of ways to play this game, and even if you have a lot of experience with Cyberpunk, there may be some very useful things you missed along the way. But that ends today, because in this video, we're going to explore 10 tips and tricks I wish I knew earlier when playing Cyberpunk 2077. Number 1. Buy the reinforced Tendons cyberware and do it now. One of the first things I do now in every playthrough is raise 30,000 credits in Act 1 so I can buy these bad boys. Sorry, Victor, you'll get your money later. I just need a few more implants to get me going. Reinforced tendons are a leg implant you can purchase from any Ripperdoc in the city. They give you the ability to double jump, which is one of the most fun and useful abilities in the game. It completely changes the way I explore and fight in this game. Previously unreachable areas are now just a double jump away, and in some cases you can even unlock unique dialogue by getting into places with your NBA hops, like in Carrie's questline. You can even chain your jumps together with other abilities such as the new vehicle eject. I was playing around in the game today to try and recreate one of those cinematic combat maneuvers from the trailer, so I ejected from my vehicle, double jumped off it, and performed a quake slam on a group of unsuspecting goons. Death from above, bitches. Number 2, aerial takedowns. Speaking of death from above, you can perform aerial takedowns on unaware enemies outside of combat. Previously, this was an unlockable ability called Hidden Dragon, but this perk was removed from the skill tree in the 2.0 update. The good news is now anyone can do it, even if you don't spec into the cool tree at all. Here's how it works. Simply jump onto an enemy from above, and it will automatically trigger the takedown animation as you fall onto their stupid heads. This is a fun and stylish way to perform stealth takedowns and turn Cyberpunk into a game of Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Number 3, the fastest way to make money in Cyberpunk. As you complete quests and loot different enemies and locations throughout Night City, you will accumulate a boatload of weapons in your inventory. Most of these will not be worth using or upgrading because the best weapons in the game are usually earned as quest rewards or crafted. Now you could disassemble them for crafting components, but the best thing to do is sell them at one of the various kiosks or vendors throughout the city. If you need crafting components, I recommend breaking down clothing items instead, since these are plentiful but don't sell for as much money. Unless you're doing some kind of engineering build, you probably won't be doing crafting that often anyway. To me, the money is way more useful because you can buy cyberware, quick hacks, vehicles, apartments, and more. And hell, if you need some extra crafting components down the line, you can just buy them with a fat stack of cash you raked in from selling all those weapons. Number 4, you can get one of the fastest cars in the game completely for free. A lot of you probably already know about this since there were like a million videos on it when the game released in 2020, but you can get a free Rayfield Caliburn pretty early in Act 2. Rayfield is basically the Lambo of the Cyberpunk universe, and these cars are incredibly expensive when you buy them on the open market. During the main story mission where you ambush Pan Am's former Merc partner Nash, she will ask for your help in tracking down Nash at his hideout. After dealing with Nash and all his goons, you can find the Rayfield in the tunnel behind the compound. Simply approach the shipping container and unlock your brand new luxury car. If you didn't help Pan Am get revenge or haven't done the quest yet, or otherwise missed the car, you can always come back to this location later. It's right here on the map out in the Badlands. It's also worth pointing out that if you don't give in to Pan Am's vengeful antics, Rogue will actually give you a free Quadra vehicle as well, so you can get 2 really nice, really fast, free vehicles during this quest. Number 5, where to find the thermal katana. When I saw this brand new katana weapon during one of the Phantom Liberty reveal trailers, I couldn't wait to get my hands on it. But after playing through the DLC for a few hours and never stumbling upon it, I decided to look up where it was. You will actually discover this during the main story quest, Disaster Piece, where V and Judy rescue Evelyn Parker from a scav haunt. If you're like me and you already completed this quest before the item was added to the game, simply return to the warehouse at this location on the map and follow the stairs down into the basement until you find the room with the giant furnace. The sword is sitting right there in the forge. This is my second favorite melee weapon to use in the game, next to the hammer. It's just a little more fun smashing gonks with a quake attack, but the thermal katana is pretty damn fun as well. Number 6, completing all gigs for a fixer nets you a unique reward. The side gigs in Cyberpunk 2077 are a mixed bag, so you may be tempted to skip them and focus on the main story or more substantial side quests. However, if you do this, you'll miss out on some really great rewards. As of patch 1.5, each fixer will provide you with a unique reward once you've completed all of their gigs. You can see how many gigs you've completed for a fixer by hovering over their map icon. I think the best rewards are from Dino, El Capitan, and Wakako. Dino gives you a Quadra Type 66, which is one of the fastest cars in the game. El Capitan presents you with the Bloody Maria shotgun, and Wakako gives you a badass iconic katana. Padre's reward is pretty great too. It's a power pistol with a Valentino skin design. I know you gotta fix that busted chip in your brain or you'll end up dead, but don't sleep on those fixer gigs. Number 7, Weapon Glitch Quickhack is a lifesaver. I've done a lot of Netrunner builds in my time playing Cyberpunk, but I honestly skipped out on this Quickhack until recently. I typically like to build my character for big damage, but the Weapon Glitch Quickhack is an OP lifesaver in many situations. Basically, it makes it so an enemy's gun temporarily jams and prevents them from shooting you for a few seconds. I cannot tell you how many times this Quickhack has saved my life in the Phantom Liberty DLC in particular. So while Quickhacks like Seppuku, Cyber Psychosis, Synapse Burnout, or Detonate Grenade might be sexier and more fun to use, Weapon Glitch comes in clutch with phenomenal utility in every combat situation. It's especially great if an enemy gets the drop on you, like those big LMG mofos that like to spawn behind you or come out of a side room in many Phantom Liberty quests. So yeah, don't sleep on the Weapon Glitch Quickhack. Number 8, how to deal with enemy netrunners. Edge runners can be a real pain in the ass during combat, especially if you're not paying attention. I was watching a few streams of Cyberpunk recently and noticed people getting zeroed by overheat quick hacks because they weren't paying close attention. Whenever you're getting hacked, you'll see an upload progress meter show on the center of your screen. It will also display what the hack is, so you can determine whether or not you need to stop that netrunner like yesterday or just let the hack go through. Netrunners typically need to have line of sight to hack you, and you'll see a line displaying where the hack is coming from. If you're being hacked through a camera, you can actually disrupt the quick hack by shooting the camera. Otherwise, the most reliable way is to shoot the netrunner. Sometimes their hack will get interrupted with a few bullets, kind of like a spellcaster in a fantasy game, and sometimes you can disrupt a hack by breaking line of sight, although this isn't completely reliable. At the end of the day, the best solution is to simply kill the netrunner, but you definitely don't want to sleep on these guys because they can stealthily zero you. Number 9, fun things you can do with camera hacking. Whenever you see a security camera, you may be tempted to simply hack it and turn it off, but there are a lot of fun things you can do by taking control of the camera instead. For starters, gaining access to one camera in a security system allows you to swap between every other camera. So if you're playing stealth, you can use this as an opportunity to survey a level and tag all the enemies. You can also quick hack enemies or objects through cameras. Just be aware that enemies will use their own cyberware to reveal your location if you hack them from stealth. My favorite thing to do is actually overload fuel tanks if there happen to be enemies nearby. It's just too fun watching these gonks scramble around trying to figure out who is leveling them. Number 10, useful buffs. Cyberpunk also has a number of useful buffs that you may be overlooking while you play. The first and easiest one to get is sleep. Sleeping in a bed grants a whopping 20% experience bonus for 1 hour IRL. So if you're planning to power level or grind XP, this is a no-brainer. Capacity Booster is incredibly useful if you run out of inventory space. It grants a 50% increase to carry weight, which will be enough for you to fast travel and unload your gear. This has saved me a few times after a long day of looting. Food and drink provide bonuses to health and stamina respectively. Ram Jolt increases RAM at the cost of health, which can be useful for netrunner builds. You also want to keep an eye out for items that permanently boost your stats, such as skill shards that drop from enemies. So there you have it. 10 things I wish I knew earlier in Cyberpunk 2077. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to Big Dan Gaming for more Cyberpunk and RPG videos. Big shout out to all the channel members for supporting my content. Until next time, this has been Big Dan. I should go.